Hello, my name is Tucker Gregory, and I'll be your occupational therapist today. And what's your name?
Robert.
Nice to meet you, Robert. And have you ever heard of occupational therapy? So occupational therapy just helps individuals of all ages live their day-to-day life. And today, what we'll be doing is the LOTCA-G test, and we're going to be doing a subcategory. So the subcategory that we're going to be doing is memory, and we'll be assessing three things: a famous personality, a personal possessions, and everyday objects, just administering their day-to-day memory. For the famous personality, we'll be showing them one famous person, and then at the end of the test, asking them to name the famous person. And all these scores will be 1 through 4, 1 not being able to, 2 being able to with a Q, 3 being able to with either first or last name, and 4 being able to do it fully. Personal possessions, we'll just be asking them to take a personal possession, put it somewhere in the room, and then at the end, identifying the object. And then everyday objects, I'll be showing them five objects that they will have to remember. And then at the end, I'll lay out 10, and they have to pick the 5 out that they had before. So Robert, today we're just going to be administering your memory. And the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to be showing you a picture of a famous person in the past. And all I need you to do is tell me who this famous person is. And then also try to remember it, because at the end I'm going to ask you to identify.
Okay.
So here's the picture.
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. Okay, that is correct. So next what I'll be doing is I'm going to be showing you objects, and I need you to remember these objects, okay?
Okay.
You're okay. So here we have 5 objects, and all I need you to do is identify these objects for me, okay?
This looks like a candle.
It is. It is.
This is a key.
Yes.
This is
Maybe can I help you out?
Sure.
Okay, so that's a salt shaker.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep, that's just a salt shaker.
There wasn't no salt in it. So
Yeah, I should have brought some salt for you.
threw me off
Yeah,
there.
I should have brought some for you. I'm sorry.
This looks like a pen
It is, man.
that you'd ride with. This looks like a ring.
It is a ring. Good job. Okay, so lastly, what we're going to be asking you is, do you have any possessions on you, like for everyday objects, such as a ring or?
Yeah, I have my car key
Your
here.
car keys? Okay. So if you don't mind, can you just place that somewhere in the room and remember where you put it? And at the end, I'm going to ask you.
Here's this box. I'll throw in this box of gloves.
Okay. If you don't mind, we'll just put it to the side.
Okay.
Okay. And I just want you to try to remember where that was. Okay. So, like I asked you earlier in the assessment, what I need you to do is just try to tell me who this is again.
Abraham Lincoln.
It is Abraham Lincoln. It is. Good job. So next I'm going to be showing you 10 objects, and all I need you to do is pick out the 5 that we talked about before. Okay? Okay, Robert. So all I need you to do is pick out the objects that we talked about before, and just tell me what they are.
Let's see. Well, we definitely talked about this salt shaker.
We did.
This is tough. So many objects. I remember the candle.
Yes. So,
I remember something about a key, so I'm going to say a key as well. What about this pencil, maybe?
So we actually did not talk about the pencil. we talked more something that maybe you wear on your hand.
I hold a toothbrush in my hand.
You do hold a toothbrush in your hand, but that is not one of the objects.
Oh, the ring.
The ring, yes.
The ring. Are you sure it wasn't a pencil?
It wasn't a pencil, but you're very close. It's something that you do write with.
The pen.
The pen.
It was the pen.
Yes, that's a good job. And that is the 5 objects. So good job, Robert. So lastly, all I need you to do for me is, do you remember the object you gave me earlier that you said you use on a daily basis?
I gave you my truck key, didn't I?
You did. You sure did.
Look at that. Did it fall on the floor?
No, it didn't fall on the floor. We put it somewhere in the room. If you can remember where you put it.
Oh, I put it in the box here.
You did.
I forgot.
You did.
I forgot about that. I found it.
Good job, Robert. So Robert, now we're just going to talk about your scoring. So for the memory personality, you scored a 4 out of 4, which just means that I showed you the object at the beginning, and then you also identified the person at the end, okay? For the personal possession, you took your truck keys and you put them in the box, and you was able to identify it just with verbal cues. Next, for the everyday objects, he received a 2 because we set out all the objects he was not able to identify, but with a few cues and hints, he was able to identify all the objects. So Robert, we have another sub-test that we'll be doing, and it'll be for perception, okay? So for perception, we have 5 subparts to it. We have visual indent of objects. I'll be showing him 4 objects, seeing if he can identify. If not, there will be a test booklet that he will identify the 4 objects to it. So for the scoring of visual indent, for 1 point, he'll be able to identify 2 objects or less by exact matching. For 2 points, he'll identify 4 objects by exact matching. 3 identifies at least 2 objects by naming, understanding, or similar matching. And then for 4, he's able to identify all without any matching. Next will be visual indent of shapes. I will be showing him 4 different shapes, and he will have to try to identify. For 4, he will identify all shapes with no cues. 3, identify at least 2 shapes by naming, understanding, or similar matching. 2, identify 4 shapes by exact matching, or 1, identify 2 shapes by less. For overlapping figures, I will be showing him this picture, overlapping images. If he's not able to identify, there will be pictures in the test booklet for him to identify each separately. For 4, he won't need a cue. For 3, identifies 2 without a page or all figures of the aid. 2, identifies 2 figures with the aid of the page in the test booklet, or 1 figure without, or 1 does not identify any of the figures. Next, we will do object consistency. I will show him photos in the test booklet of 3 different items that are taken at unusual angles, and I'll ask him to identify it. 1, he is unable to identify any objects. 2, identifies 1. 3 points, identifies 2 objects. 4, identifies all 3 objects. And then after that, the last I'll be doing spatial perception, A, B, and C. A will be directions between left and right. B will be discrimination between right and left in front of him or her, which will be pointing at the client, or at the therapist. And then C, spatial relations around. Okay, Robert. So first we're going to be starting with a test. All I need you to do is identify these 4 objects, and I also have a booklet here for you. If you need, just let me know, and we will also try with that, okay?
Yeah, I'm just having a really hard time with these objects. I can't really seem to figure out what they are.
Do you mind if we use the booklet to try to?
Sure.
Okay. So these are just going to be similar pictures. They're not going to be exact. And if you can you just try to match this with one of these pictures?
Seems like that looks similar there.
Okay.
This looks similar here.
Okay.
These look similar here, which I guess would mean this would go here.
Yeah, that's actually perfect, Robert. Good job. So the one right to the left, that is a shoe. These are scissors. These are glasses, and this is a chair. Okay. So next, what we'll be doing is visual indent of shapes. So all I need you to do is I have 4 different shapes, and I would just like you to identify each one what they are. Okay. And here's the first one.
That's a triangle.
Okay. Good. Here's the next one.
That's a circle.
Good.
That's a square.
Good.
And then a rectangle.
Good job, Robert. So next we're going to do overlapping figures. And then once again, I do have a booklet of different shapes. And could you just identify all 3 of those if possible?
Well, I see that. That kind of looks like a banana.
That's right.
This is tough. That kind of maybe resembles an apple.
Good.
And then I'm really not for sure what that third thing is there.
Okay, that's fine. And we have a booklet. And is there any way that you could maybe try to identify that last object on here? Maybe what it would look like?
It's not the grapes, is it?
It's not the grapes.
Is it another apple?
Nope, not another apple.
Oh, it has to be that then, correct?
Yeah. And do you know what that is?
Is it a pear?
It is a pear. It is a pear. Good job. So next, what we'll be doing is object consistency. These are pictures that are taken at unusual angles. Okay, Robert, we have 3 different objects here that are taken. Is there any way that you would be able to identify what these 3 are?
That looks like a fork.
That is a fork.
That's a telephone. And is that like a hammer?
That is a hammer. Good job. So Robert, lastly, what we'll be doing is spatial perception. And all I need you to do, I'll just ask you a couple things and try to show me what they are. Okay. Can you show me your right hand? Good. Can you show me your left leg? Good. Can you put your right hand on your left ear? Okay. Can you put your left hand on your right shoulder? All right. Good, Robert. So next will be directions in front. So can you point to my nose? Okay. Can you point to my left ear? Good. Can you point to my right leg? Good. And can you point to my left foot? Good. So next will be spatial relations. Robert, can you look to your left and name an object for me?
There's a clock.
Okay. Can you look to the right and name an object for me?
There's a chair.
Good. And can you tell me where the box of gloves is to you?
The box of gloves is to my left.
Okay. And can you tell me where I'm sitting at?
You're sitting to my right.
Okay. Good, Robert. Okay, for the scoring, for the visual indent of objects, we scored him as a 2. For visual indent of shapes, he was able to correctly get all of them, which was 4. The overlapping figures, we scored him as a 3. Object consistency, we scored him as a 4. And then for spatial perceptions A, B, and C, he did get a perfect score. Okay, Robert, that is the end of our sub-test and our assessment. Do you have any questions for me?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you.